We've recently unboxed the POCO X4 Pro 5G here on the Tech Travel Geeks channel. If you haven't already, make sure to check it out, as well as the video sample/vlog we published recently. Today, we'll be going through the phone setup and we'll be discussing the software experience with this shiny mid-range device. So let's go ahead. I'll be switching my secondary SIM card, which is a Lebara number, from the Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 as I'm finishing the review of this device right now. As you can see, the Redmi has 2 SIM slots plus an SD card, which won't be the case with the POCO. For the setup, I'll be using the SIM card, an optional 16GB microSD card, as well as a SIM ejector tool we got in the box, plus the Wi-Fi and Google passwords for the setup. But first, have I mentioned the light refracting on this device? It's quite something for sure. The SIM tray is at the bottom of the device, and as you can see, it's a hybrid one, so we can either have 2 SIM cards or a SIM plus microSD, and I'll go with the second option. Luckily, the slots are nicely branded. Just remember to have pins facing upwards. Alright, let's switch the phone on for the first time. We got greeted by the POCO branding and the powered by Android logo as usual, followed by the MIUI logo, which is the Xiaomi's operating system. In this case, it's the latest MIUI 13, which is great to see, in the POCO flavor. We're starting the setup by choosing the language. It was correctly pre-selected for me, as was the region, as I'm in Scotland right now. Then, there's plenty of terms and conditions. If you want to, feel free to read it in your own free time. We then need to log into Wi-Fi. Did I mention we'll need the password? We'll be using the 5 GHz version, as this phone supports that standard. Once we're connected, we can decide if we want to copy apps and data from the previous device. I always like to start afresh, so I'm not going to do that. But if you like to have everything the way you had before, you can go ahead and do that. Next, we'll sign into Google. It's not mandatory, and you can skip it, but without it, you won't be able to use Google services, so I definitely recommend it. If you enable 2-factor authentication on your account, and you definitely should do that, you'll also have to approve your login, so make sure you have your old phone nearby or have access to your email. Then there's some terms and conditions and some permissions for backup to Google Drive, use of phone's location, Wi-Fi scanning, as well as sharing your usage and diagnostics data, which I disabled, but it's up to you. At this point, you can skip the rest of the setup, which up until this point has only taken me around 3 minutes since switching the device on, and you can continue later or finish it now, which is what I decided to do. Then there's Google Assistant setup. Depending on if and how long ago you set the voice commands up, you might be asked to repeat the Google command a few times to teach the Mountain View giant your voice pattern. It wasn't the case for me. I went straight to the next stage when you can add another email account, change the font size, the wallpaper, or review additional apps. Let's go with the wallpaper. For some reason, I like the Azure Coast. I think I've been using it since the POCO F2 Pro a few years ago, so let's go with it for now, both as the wallpaper and the lock screen. As usual, there's not much in the additional apps, just Google Pay, and you can't uninstall it from here, it's just an FYI. Luckily, my unit supports NFC, so I'll be able to make payments with it, but availability might depend on your market. I won't be adding another email or changing the font size, but you can do it from here if you want to. Now, let's do the security setup, one of my favorite things about POCO and Xiaomi devices, as the fingerprint scanner is just amazing from this manufacturer. But first, let's quickly set up some basic security. I went with a pattern, but you can also use a PIN or a custom password. But the side-mounted fingerprint scanner is where the phone really shines. It's in a really convenient spot, and works great in my experience, especially compared to some in-screen fingerprint scanner, which aren't the best. I also prefer this over Google Pixel 5's scanner on the back. It's just more convenient to just unlock the phone with the power button. Can we all agree that all phones should have this feature, please? Next, there's some additional settings for MIUI for POCO, including information and data sharing, automatic system updates, personalized ads, but please note this setting won't change their frequency, just their relevance, as well as the wallpaper carousel and taking part in the user experience program. I went with all the options for this one, including the wallpaper carousel, which shows some random photos when I unlock my screen, and some of them are really nice. And that's the main setup complete. Well, it took around a minute and a half to load the apps and for the screen to be usable, plus when you go on the notification shade, there's the usual finish setting up your phone notification, but I've seen it with most devices for different manufacturers, and in my case it took another 30 seconds of confirming what I'd already done, so it's not a big issue. As you can see, the phone has also recognized my microSD card, even though I think I might have forgotten to format it this time around. No problems though, it still works just fine. Before we go any further, let me just switch into dark mode, which is my normal preference, as well as the screen refresh rate, as this phone has a great 120Hz AMOLED screen. It's not the latest adaptive refresh rate we could see in the Honor Magic 4 Pro that Mateo is reviewing right now, but it's still fantastic for this price. You can further configure the display by changing the color scheme from the default vivid through saturated to standard, and you can also adjust the color temperature, which is a common feature on Honor devices. I also made sure to enable screen auto rotation, especially useful with YouTube. One more change for me is to switch from buttons to full screen gestures, as I've gotten used to them with my Pixel devices, and I find this way better for me. It's entirely up to you to decide though. There's also some information on how to use those gestures if you're not familiar with them yet. The other piece of good news is that we already have a software update available. We'll be going from MIUI version 13.0.2 straight to 13.0.10, including some fixes and improvements, as well as an Android security update bump from December 2021 to March 2022. Great to see. However, the phone is still on Android 11 version, unlike for example the POCO F3 or Xiaomi Redmi Note 10, which have both already been updated to Android 12. However, there's not too much of a difference yet between the two, so it's not a big issue. Let's check the storage and installed apps. This is the 256GB model, the bigger of the two, and it comes with 32.7GB used, so we have plenty of space to use, especially that you can expand it with a microSD card. Speaking of apps, there's a few more or less useful apps pre-installed. In my case, it was Amazon, eBay, AliExpress and Agoda for shopping, Facebook, TikTok and LinkedIn for social media, Amazon Music and Spotify for audio, and WPS Office as an office alternative. There's also quite a few random games like Block Puzzle Guardian, which for some reason wanted access to location and to make phone calls, some Bejeweled and Bubble Bobble clones, some Tiles game, State of Emergency / The Walking Dead crossover, plus a shoot 'em up game Dust Settle, and a PUBG installation file, not the game itself. Luckily, all the apps can be uninstalled easily, so if you don't need them, just hold the icon for a moment and uninstall it from there. What's great with MIUI is that you get automatic categories in the app drawer, in case you want to see all your social media apps in one place, for example. You can also further customize the categories and add, reorder or replace existing categories, which proves how customizable the MIUI for POCO is. The battery, when setting the device up, was at 42%, but at the time of writing this, I've been using the device for almost 2 weeks and the 5000 mAh battery has been excellent, and it did really well on my trip to London and Windsor. Yes, I went on an amphibious tour with my sister's family and it was quite a great experience, especially for my nephew. And that's it for the setup video. If you found it useful, please leave us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below what other content you'd be interested to see about the POCO X4 Pro 5G. But for now, thanks for watching.